She's a manifestation of my dreams. We must have been dreaming.
Well, good evening. And you're joining Zemrah, Here's to Life, here at Intellectual Radio. So glad that I'm joining you this evening. I have missed you. I've been gone. I had a performance last week, so we were unable to make it. I performed at the La Vault in Homewood, we got back raving reviews, and they want me back. So I was real. It was jazz, what I do. And it was a wonderful evening. Joining me was Mr. Pierre Poller on keyboards, and then Mr. Gregory Thomas, who is a saxophone player with the Funkadelics. So he does a little bit of everything, and he was on the money. Really great guy, and I enjoyed working with him. So I have our co-host, Ed, is a little under the weather. Got that cold bug that's going around, and I'm doing everything I can to fight from getting it myself. So we want to wish him well. I've been taking good care of him. He wanted to still come, and the more he said it, the more pitiful he got. So I said, Ed, you need to just stay home. Well, I said, no, baby, you just stay home. So that's where he's at, and hopefully he is resting like I told him to do. He tries to be kind of hard-headed, but I think he's going to go ahead and take advantage of that rest that I told him to get. This evening, this segment is brought to you by NavCare. NavCare is a division of U.S. CareNet, doing all kind of good things for our senior market when it comes to health. So they are brought to you by NavCare. So joining me this evening is a lady. I was telling Earl Winfrey, the producer of Intellectual Radio, that we have a super travel agent. He said he wants to hear more about that. But when I said that, I'm saying she really knows how to put together a package for you that you will be very happy with. So joining us this evening is the lovely Miss Wilda Belt, who is also my assistant with my music. She chairs my Here's to Life concert, and just a wonderful lady. So what's happening, Miss Wilda?
I'm just glad to be here, Miss Zemrah. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad that you're joining us.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Tell us some good stuff about and the necessity of taking vacation.
Oh, yes.
So tell us a little bit about what do you feel as far as the importance of people taking the opportunity, or taking the time, I should say, to vacation. What is the important part of that, in your opinion?
Well, in my opinion, having a healthy life, basically, because we all need to take time out to come away from what we do every day. Mm-hmm. Just the stress of it all, the anxiety that's created. When you go on vacation, the idea is to relieve yourself of all that, to let it go. And it's been a week, 10 days, or 2 weeks, just relaxing, pampering yourself, or even if you want to do adventures, it doesn't matter. But the key thing is that you are away from what you normally do on a day-to-day basis. Gives your mind a chance to relax, relaxes your body, and you come back feeling more whole.
Mm-hmm. Now, what are some of the reasons that you think that people would not like they should on a regular basis? What causes?
Well, a lot of times people feel that they don't have the money, okay, or they may feel they don't have the time. I'm too busy. I got too much to do. I can't afford to take time off. My job is too demanding. Or it may be that, where I want to go, I can't afford. I got to save up. I don't have the money. But all those are really, in the scheme of things, are really kind of excuses. And there's ways around that. And the busiest people get the most done, as we know that, right?
Yes.
So even though you may be busy with a lot to do and a lot on your plate, it's important that you take time away to take care of you. When you come back, you will get everything you have to get done and more, because it increases your productivity. Your mind is more at ease and at peace. You can flow better. your approach to things is better. You just come back with a whole different perspective.
And then it's so, Wilda and I were talking about it, vacations are so educational.
Yes.
So right now, you have put together a great trip to Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And so, which is coming up in June.
Right.
For 12 days.
Yes.
So just share with us a little bit of information regarding Brazil and,
Sure.
and some of the, as far as even relating to Africa.
Right. Well, last year I had the great privilege of going to Cuba, as Zemrah knows.
Yeah.
So I like things that are culture, and I can learn about our people of color. And to me, it's fascinating to go to another place, another continent, another island, another country, and see people who look like us and who actually came from Africa, but yet have brought their culture into their space where they are. So I experienced that in Cuba. It was wonderful. And this year, what we're planning to do is go to Brazil. We're going to go for 12 days. Which is going to be really magnificent. But we're going to spend 3 days in Rio de Janeiro, and then we're going to move on for 9 days in Salvador Bahia. And Salvador Bahia is actually the kind of the connecting point where most African, they call them Afro-Brazilians, and that's where most of them live, and that's where a lot of the culture is. So that's why we've decided to spend more days in Bahia than in Rio. But we know we want to go to Rio and see the beaches and the sights and
That's
the people to Rio. Yes, exactly.
But you find more education as far as what is the percentage of Africans that are in Brazil?
It's something like, 90, they were saying that like 90 million people of color live there, right? And then they're saying that the hub of that is in Salvador Bahia. Wow. They're spread out, but the hub of it is Salvador Bahia. So I'm excited.
That is really interesting.
Really excited. And then we have an itinerary. So each day we will do things that it'll be fun, but it'll also be educational.
Right.
So when we get back to the States, we can say, you've been on this tour. You didn't just hang out on the beach and get a suntan, which I plan to do.
I know.
But I can say that I've actually experienced African culture in Brazil.
Yeah.
So that excites me.
Yeah, because when you came back from Cuba, Hermine even had you. You did a really beautiful article that she even posted in Indigo.
Yes,
correct?
Hermine Hartman of Indigo was kind enough to allow me to do a write-up.
Yeah, and it was beautiful too, what you wrote.
Thank you.
Really good.
Thank you. And then share my photos with her, which she did a lovely job of posting those and bringing together the story. And again, in Cuba, the things that impressed me were the people. I mean, they're very humble but proud. They're proud to be Cubans. They're open to you. They welcome you, but they're proud of their country and their culture. I was impressed.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And I think we should be really open to going abroad and going to other countries because of the fact that you learn, like you said, that it's so many people that look like you and me.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that.
Right.
And when we were talking also as far as our senior market, because we always like to make sure that we include them, because again, my Here's the Life centers around our senior market, letting them know that again, we always say my philosophy, as long as you can walk, talk, and breathe, you keep it moving.
Yes.
Don't feel because again, there is an age involved that you can't travel.
Exactly.
Don't make the excuse that, well, it's a little bit too much, or it's a matter of fact, the sun, because I remember when you put together a cruise last year, which was wonderful, and I was just getting over bronchitis. And I mean, the sun just, it just wiped everything out, dried everything up, and it's
done naturally.
So exactly.
Without medication.
Exactly.
Exactly. So it's just soothing all the way around. And you can look at, it's all kinds of studies and statistics regarding vacationing versus non-vacationing. For example, Americans leave something like 30% of their vacation on the table each year, meaning that that's time that they've earned that they didn't take.
Wow.
And that's because they feel most of the time, I'm too busy. I got too much to do. I can't get away. Now, the flip side of that, the European countries, they get an average of about 30 days a year.
Yes, you were sharing that.
So they have lower healthcare costs. They have a longer life expectancy.
Yes.
So it shows you that taking time off to care for yourself and pamper yourself is good, not only in the short run, but in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. I know we would like, that's what we're striving to do. Ed and I want to look at more vacationing because it is important to really your very being, because it gives you an opportunity to, like you said, to relax, to not answer emails, to not be on your computer, not really even on your phone if you don't really, because a lot of times you don't want to have that travel cost on your phone. So it just gives you a chance where nobody has to really bother you. You can just do your own thing.
I'm going to share a little story with you.
Come on.
We were boarding a cruise ship.
Okay.
And, when you get on the ship, you have to go through customs. They check everything, your bags and everything, make sure you're not bringing anything illegal or on board. So me and my friend, and you know her, Amatir, who is no longer with us in body, but we're going through, and the man that was working on the ship is checking our bags and everything. So she had her laptop. So she set it up, and he said, she put it out for him to check it. And he said, oh, you can put that over there. And so, we turned around to look, and we didn't see anything but a wastebasket. And she said, what do you mean over there? He said, right over there in the trash. He said, because you're on vacation. You don't need a laptop. You don't need a cell phone. But the point, of course, he wasn't telling her to throw her computer away.
Absolutely.
But the point he was making is that you've got to break away. You've got to break away and do something different, actually feel like you're on vacation. And then they talk about how people who even go on vacation and take their work with them. Well, to me, that's not a vacation.
Absolutely not. Not at all. Well, now tell us about the trip that you have coming up with Punta Cana in November,
the DR,
which is a luscious time to go.
Yes.
It's the 8th through the 13th.
November 8th through the 13th.
6 days, 5 nights.
Right. So we are going to head off to they call it the DR, the Dominican Republic. We'll be in Punta Cana.
Yeah.
All-inclusive resort. Everything you can think of is included. All your meals, food, activities, drinks. Even for those who want to have alcoholic drinks, that's included.
Round trip airfare.
Awesome.
Yes.
We'll get
Hotel
you
accommodation
from the airport to the resort and back to the airport. It's all inclusive, and it's in the Caribbean, as we know. And to me, anything in the Caribbean works. Yes. But it's a good spot to be. It's the weather's wonderful. You talked about the healing that can take place physically while you're there, and you come back relaxed, full of fun, ready to go. Hit it running.
That's a sweet way to enter right into the holidays.
Yeah.
And just when that's just around the time that it starts getting cold.
Yeah.
So you can just say whoa and get to going on that.
Sure.
That sounds real good.
Yes. We did that same trip that time of year last year to Jamaica, and it turned out to be perfect.
Yeah.
So we're looking for the same thing this year.
Yeah, because even when we went on the cruise, it was
in February.
Yes,
Day. Right.
Oh, and coming out of the winter. I mean, and as a matter of fact, that same day it had snowed, and we're on the plane going on our cruise.
Right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about the seniors, and I so agree, because many times we do feel that as we mature, that we don't want to be a bother to anyone, or I can't get around like I used to, or it might be too much walking. Now, one of the things that I like to do is really design the vacation for the person. instead of trying to fit the person into the vacation.
And you do that well.
So that way, you don't want to be, nobody wants to spend money and go somewhere and they don't enjoy themselves. But there are a lot of places and activities that you can do even if you are mature. So that's no reason not to travel. And they have everything accessible now by law.
They do.
So to make it where you can get around and enjoy your life. This is your time, your golden time.
Yes.
That's the time to travel.
Yes.
Have fun.
Live.
Exactly.
You know, that's what we say.
Here's to life.
That's
right.
That's right. Well, right about now, we're going to be back shortly. Again, this is Zemrah at Intellectual Radio with Miss Wilda Belt, your travel lady herself. This segment is sponsored by NavCare. NavCare, again, is a division of US Care Net. We'll be back shortly.
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everything must change. 'Cause nothing or no one goes unchanged. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. But that's the way of these times. Yes, everyone and everything's got to change. For there are not many things right here in this life that we can be so very, very sure, except raindrops from the clouds. Sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds they fly. Now winter turns to spring, a wounded heart must heal, but never much too soon. Yes, everyone and everything's got to change. The young become the old, and mysteries do, all mysteries unfold. But that's the way of these times. Yes, everyone and everything got to change. For there are not many things right here in this life that you and me can be so sure, except raindrops from the clouds. The sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds they fly. Raindrops from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds they fly. must change. You and me, we got to change. Well, every little thing must change. We all must change. This world has to change. Everything must change.
You're back with Zemrah here at Intellectual Radio, and we've been talking about the wonderful world of travel and the importance of traveling. This segment is brought to us by NavCare. And just want to share a little bit with you about NavCare. NavCare's care management team is available to patients enrolled in their program 24 hours a day. And that's 7 days a week, ensuring that patients and their caregivers receive the help they need when they need it. And then, of course, to learn more, visit navcarenet.com. Okay, so this part is about my music, and one of the songs you just heard is one of my favorite songs, Everything Must Change, because we do know in this dispensation of time that things do need to change. We need to change. We need to come together, and that's why I always love songs that have a message, and that is one of my favorite songs. And then, again, joining us is Miss Wilda Belt, who is talking about travel and her business of travel, but she also assists me with my music. She chairs my concert every year, my Here's the Life concert, and just a super lady. Whatever we need, she's on board, and she takes care of business. So, Wilda, tell us a little bit about you and Zemrah. What is it that makes you kind of stay with Zemrah?
Ooh,
with
me
the
and
music
Zemrah.
piece? Yeah.
That's a good question. I when I look back over my career, I came up through corporate, and I've always, or most of the time, in many instances, worked very hard to help somebody else look good. I've done that, and I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's something that I could do to make Zemrah the success that she deserves to be, I do it in a heartbeat. It's your spirit. Really, I tell you that all the time. It's the spirit and your attitude, how you approach things, how you think, how you treat others. That's my attraction. As you recall, when we first started talking about me working with you, I said, Zemrah, I know nothing about music.
Other than to listen to it. Yeah.
Other than I love to listen to it.
She's very honest.
I definitely said that.
Yes.
But it has been a very good journey. I've learned a lot, and I feel that you totally appreciate what I do, and everybody wants to be
Absolutely.
appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
But on this journey that we've embarked upon together, it's been a good journey. And again, I attribute that to you and your spirit and how you approach your work, which flows over into your life. You really epitomize what you preach. Here's to life. You really live that.
Thank you.
And that's a good thing.
Thank
So that's
you.
why I'm here.
Thank you, and I'm so happy to have you because you're just awesome. And I think one of the things that I really love is the fact of you are just so professional in all you do. You're very straight up. There is no guessing with you. What you see is what you get, and it wasn't anything. I think it was just God that drew me to you because I met you when we went on that first cruise,
Right.
that you had set up,
Right.
and I just watched the way you flowed and the way you moved. All the bookings, because really you did all the bookings for Bishop Carlton Pearson, by the way.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
And
he's a treat to work for.
yeah.
Yes.
And you've done a lot of his travels and all of that. So in that, I just saw the way you flowed and the way you took care of business and all. And that's what really and truly said, hey, you would be such a great asset to me, and that's exactly what you've been. And I just always applaud and thank you for always being there for me and always doing whatever I need. It's just been a pure blessing for me, and I don't take it for granted. I don't take it lightly, because I know your time is very valuable and very, very busy. Yes, because you have a lot on your plate. This lady does a lot of things. So when we talk about the mature person always keeping busy and staying on the move, that's Miss Wilder Belt.
Yeah.
So tell us now a little bit too, what made you go into travel?
Oh, that's an interesting story. I was actually attending a real estate seminar. Wow. Because I was interested in multiple streams of income. So that has always been a goal of mine, is to have multiple streams of income. And so I was looking at real estate as an investment opportunity. And in the middle of the seminar, a gentleman came up and talked about travel. He did like maybe a 10-minute presentation. And so we were sitting there listening at the intermission. You know, people for the real estate had kind of like wandered off, but he was up there talking about travel. And he said, you know, you can get paid to travel. That's all I heard. I'm like, really? Because I love to travel. So I went and talked to him a little bit more about that. And then I just gathered a little information. And here I am. That was 10 years ago.
Wow. And that was like twofold, because you're able to make the streams of
income, right,
along with being able to travel.
Exactly.
That was smart.
That's exactly what's
cool.
My thought too. It's like, wow, I can do something I really like to do and make money. So that was what got me into travel, and it was fun. And then as I worked at it, I turned it more into a business and kind of took on a life of its own.
So tell us some of the places that you have gone.
Well, a lot of my business or my clientele is mostly cruises. People love to cruise. So I would say that would be the bulk of what I do. And we've taken cruises, the Caribbean. I think I've been to probably most of the Caribbean islands. As you know, we were just in Aruba.
Yeah.
And now, as I mature, my thing is doing things I haven't done before.
Yes.
I love it.
So awesome.
So when I am planning things for myself personally, that's what I look at. Okay, where have I not gone? So, but we went, for example, I took a cruise to Canada. So most people wouldn't think of that, but we flew into Boston, got on the cruise ship, and cruised to Nova Scotia. I mean, it was so exciting. And in that experience, I learned about the slaves that settled in Canada. So this, they had the underground, and a lot of them ended up in the Nova Scotia area. So we had the opportunity to go and visit their African American Museum. Quite fascinating. Or their African Museum, because they're in Canada.
Right.
So it's like their African Canadian Museum.
Right.
It was really fascinating. So again, another fascinating place I've been was South Africa.
Now, I know that was a great experience.
I mean, it's hard to even put it into words. So we flew into Johannesburg, and then we stayed a few days in Durban, and then we went on to Cape Town. Now, the outside of the beauty of the country and the people, we actually had the opportunity to attend a women's conference. So these were South African women who were having a conference. And here we are as women sitting in, and a lot of the issues and things that were facing those women, we could relate to. They were facing us, a lot of them. And then finally, they had this mantra or this song that they broke into at the end. And even though it wasn't in English,
you could still
feel the spirit.
Yes.
It was the spirit. It was like we were all one. You had maybe 75 or 80 people, women in this room.
Wow.
And we all standing up together, and we're saying and singing something that we have no idea what the words are, but we could feel it in our
And
spirit.
that's the most important thing, that you could feel it.
It's awesome. It was awesome.
So that was like a real spiritual journey.
Wow. Very much.
Wow.
Very much.
That is just.
And of course, we did things like visit Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela was jailed for 26 years, stuff like that.
Wow.
So it's good to travel. I can't say enough about it.
Yeah. Now, give me your slogan about travel, which I think is just so phenomenal.
The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page.
Wow.
Now, I can't take credit for that. That's St. Augustine. But isn't that a marvelous quote?
That is.
Because the world is a book.
Yes.
You know, and
a great big thick book.
Right, right. And unfortunately, many times we don't partake of it. It's here for us, and we don't partake of it. And so we're limited. And people who travel, they just have a whole broader horizon, larger vision.
I have another girlfriend, Joyce, that just she's getting ready to go to Australia in November. Yes. And I mean, and that's always. I mean, travel is just her peace of mind. Yeah. And that's what it gives you, peace of mind, to be able to travel. It gives you so much knowledge. Yes. And it just it enhances your very soul. Really.
Absolutely, all the way around.
Yeah.
And it really helps you see where you are and how important you are or aren't on this planet. Yes. In the scheme of things, right? Yes. I mean, it can't help but broaden you.
And I think, too, it gives you an opportunity to realize in some of the countries that you go to how blessed, when, like you said, in the scheme of things, when you really and truly look at it, how really blessed you are, because it gives you an opportunity to be open and to see that maybe things aren't always as they appear in your life. When you see what maybe someone else is going through. Exactly. Good, bad, or indifferent.
That's right.
And I just, I am really and truly, I understand the value of travel. I was sharing with you earlier that my very, very first trip was to Liberia.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And that, in fact, that was the first time I had ever been on an airplane. Because remember, we were saying with my parents, we lived on the south side at like 51st and King Drive. So my grandfather lived at 112th and Vinci. So that was like, we get in the car and go and stop at Dairy Queen and have an ice cream cone. And that would be our getaway or our travel.
Yes.
So to be able to get on a plane and travel to other countries and get on the boat and go on a cruise. Yes. It is just, it's phenomenal.
And I encourage people to include your children, you know, and have them at an early age start traveling.
Yeah.
Let them see.
It broadens their mind.
Absolutely. Let them see what's out there beyond their own community or their own city.
Absolutely.
It's all for the long run. It can't help but to.
Exactly.
You know? Definitely include your children.
Yeah, I think that's important too, because again, with my girlfriend Joyce, that's one of the things that she exposed to her son was the importance of travel. And I mean, and he loved it. Yeah, he loved it. It taught him a lot of things, and you know, that's what he wanted to do. Then, you know, begin to travel. Unfortunately, she lost him. But those are things.
But
some
she
things
planted
that he
that
did
seed,
and he got a chance to experience some of that.
Yeah,
you know, so that was a blessing. So right about now, we are going to take another short pause for the cause, and missing Mr. Sherman, my better half. Hope you're feeling well and doing again as I told you to do. Get you some rest. This segment is brought to you by NAFCare, a division of U.S. CareNet.
Is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich and your mommy, she's so fine. So hush, little baby, don't want One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing, then you will spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. But until that morning comes, there is nothing to trouble you with mommy and daddy standing by. Summertime and your living's made comfortable. It's such a thing, and the cotton is high, high, high. Oh, daddy's rich, and your mommy, she's so fine. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings you're gonna rise up singing, then you will spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. But until that morning comes, there is nothing gonna trouble you with mommy and daddy standing by. Summertime and the living is easy. Fish are jumping and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich and your mommy, she's so fine. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. Hush, little baby, don't cry. Hush, little baby, don't cry. Hush, little baby, don't cry. Don't cry. Wait, hush, little baby, don't cry. Summertime and the living is easy. Hush, little baby, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Hush, little baby. Hush, little baby. Hush, little baby. Hush, little baby. Don't cry. Don't you cry.
Okay, you're back with Zemrah, and we haven't got summertime quite yet, but it's some
It's
little up and down right now, but I guess it'll be coming soon. But anyway, this segment again is brought to you by NavCare, and again we're joining Miss Wilda Belt. I think she's one of the greatest travel agents that you could get. And we were just talking on break about cruises and, the cost. And the cost can be determined on so many factors. So, Will, to explain some of that as far as
Sure. When you are planning a vacation,
There you go, planning.
you there's many factors that affect the cost, and it could be obviously where you're going, how long you want to be gone, the time of year. So all that plays a part. The travel industry has what they call peak times. And peak times are the times when most people want to travel. For example, people like to get out of the cold to somewhere warm in the winter. So prices may tend to be a little higher
Absolutely.
than if it's in the summer, say in
That makes
August. So
sense.
all that plays a part. The other thing we were talking about is many times I do a lot of group travel, and one of the benefits of that is that you can put down a deposit and hold your space.
Mhm.
You put down a deposit and hold your space, that rate is locked in, so it
Yes.
won't go up until your final payment is. So no matter how much the price fluctuates, and in travel it does. Cruises, airlines, hotels, you might call one day, a hotel rate is $99. You call back the next day, it might be $159.
Yes.
So it just varies. But the good thing about the group travel, it allows the group to put a deposit down, hold the space, and still
Make
continue to
payments.
make payments, and even gather other people if they want.
So
Yeah.
see, that's another good opportunity to be able to travel, because you can she does family reunions,
Right.
does
Mm.
destinations.
Yes.
So those are good opportunities to plan, because you can gather family,
Mm-hmm.
friends. Like it's about 14 of us, and we get together and plan different
Right.
things. We're called
Right.
the gang,
Right.
who I love and adore. And so she planned our trip, and we went for Valentine's Day on our cruise, and we just had a wonderful time. But we were able to put down a certain amount and then pay
Sure.
along until it was paid
Sure.
out. Now, another thing, what are some of the what is your idea about this paying for bags, and what airlines do you like to work with better as opposed to others, or does it just depend on the cost that a person might be looking to pay for airline
Yeah,
when
that's a good question, because when you factor in the cost of an airline ticket, you really should factor in the cost to pay for your baggage, unless travel with a carry-on. But most airlines, with the exception of, only two comes to mind that don't charge for bags. Um, but then that cost can also be added into other things.
and
So
usually it is.
so it's kind of like you just have to like shop around and find out what's most important to you. For example, um, Southwest came into the market, airline, so they were able to come in at a lower cost. So, but it was no frills. I mean, you couldn't even get a seat assignment. You still can't. Some people prefer, I want a seat. When I get on the airplane, I want to know what seat I'm in,
Yes.
what row I'm in. I'll pay the extra cost. See what I'm saying? So it really is dependent on that person's preference,
Yeah.
how they want to travel and what they want to do. You should always look for bargains. I mean, nobody has money to throw away, or everybody wants to save if it's possible. But what I tell people, don't risk your comfort or what works for you to save $10 or $25.
Right.
Honestly, I mean,
Right.
because then it becomes like it's not worth it. Because, oh, I saved over here, but I'm walking 3 miles over here to the gate, or whatever it might be. You kind of have to
Absolutely.
look at the whole picture.
Absolutely.
Like my mother used to run me all over town to catch a sale. When I finally told her, I'm gonna pay the original price, because my gas and time
You might as
is
well
worth
go ahead.
more than me running you all over. So
That's
whatever
his
time.
philosophy too, because I'm
So
guilty of that. I'm
yes,
gonna run over here for a
right.
sale and
That's what my
say,
mother would.
Zemrah, baby. We can
I
just
just
do this right
right.
here, because when you finish all mine, I just
Yes.
spent $50 in gas.
That's what I used
So
to tell
that's
my
really,
mom.
really a good point.
Yes.
Really a good point. But another thing now I wanted to ask now, what is your opinion of like Spirit? and Frontier, but mainly Spirit, because they say Spirit charges if you look at the plane too long.
Yeah, a lot of people feel the Spirit is kind of like it nickel and dimes you. That's a kind of a good way to put it.
Yes.
So the fare is low or cheaper,
Like
but it's back to what I was saying earlier. They want you to pay for this. You got to pay for that. You got to pay for this. Where when you finish, have you really saved anything? That's kind of the
and that would be
question.
a no, because I think they even charge you for your purse.
Well, one thing I found out that they don't, when they do charge, they want you to already have your boarding pass printed.
Otherwise, they charge.
Otherwise, they want to charge. I mean, that kind of, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Now, I'd rather just incorporate that into the price of my ticket. I mean, I want my customers to feel when they get to the airport, if you need my assistance, I'm there to help you,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And we
So,
want you to reach out if you have any travel plans. And now, after listening to Wilda, if you have any idea about traveling, she's the one to talk to, and you would contact her at area code 312-399-6256. And she'll answer any of your questions. She'll set up your cruises. She'll set up your trips, even if you have business trips. This could even go if you have a business trip that you have to do. She can arrange all of that for you. Utilize the service, because one of the things that I like and that you always want is someone that has referred,
mhm,
because you don't have to worry about being taken advantage of, and especially
mhm.
again to our seniors. You know that you have someone that you can depend on that can take care of business and get your travel
Grateful.
done for you.
Great point. Yeah.
Yeah,
Most of my businesses are referrals.
yeah,
Yeah. Great point.
yeah.
So referrals are good.
They are.
Referrals are good. And we still have openings for the Brazil trip. So if you're interested in that, give me a call.
Yeah. What are the dates on the Brazil
The
trip
dates
again?
are June 17th through the 30th, 2017. That's this year. So we're winding down. It's going to be an intimate group because we want to keep it kind of small, not too large, so that we can really enjoy and interact and as we travel and go on the different tours and the different activities. So we do have a few more spaces available. If you're interested, please give me a call.
Yeah. And again, that's 312-399-6256. Miss Wilda Belt, and that's wildasfuntravel.net.
Mhm.
So you can always send her an email. She does respond back. She's not someone that sits on her emails for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, even with her busy schedule.
Yeah.
So you want to check in with her again, www.wildasfuntravel.net.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct?
The email is Wilderness Fund Travel at SBC Global.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm
Net.
thinking of
You think
Zemrah.
right? It's but that's right. Wilderness Fund Travel at sbcglobal.net. That's my email. But you can feel free to call me, email me, or text me.
So we are starting to wind down. Time goes by so fast. That's what I was
Mhm.
telling you. And it's always a pleasure. I want you to make sure that you like me on Facebook. Go to YouTube and go to Intellectual Radio and put in Here's the Life with Zemrah. And you'll get a chance to see all of my shows. I think we've had some great segments, real informative, again, with NavCare, Bishop Carlton Pearson. We've just had Audrey Kay. We just have had some wonderful, wonderful guests. Pamela Wilkes, they're getting ready for a play coming up in before Mother's Day, a play that they are producing, that they're getting back into doing that. So I just really want you to check in my segment. I'm here every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. And unless I am performing, then we'll always let you know that ahead of time. Check me out on Facebook. Go to Zemrah Singing You'll get a chance to hear my concerts, which we're getting ready to start working on, or Here's to Life #7. So I'm really excited about that. So again, our philosophy is as long as you can walk, talk, and breathe, you keep it moving. And Wilda, I am so glad that you joined me. You are always welcome to come and share because one of the things about travel is just what she said. It's educational. It's just a great way to include a vacation in your life and living your life. I always say when you embrace life, life embraces you back. Look to see you on next Tuesday. I have another special guest. Thanks for joining me again. Contact Wilda at 312-399-6256. This segment was brought to you by NavCare, a division of CareNet. Thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
I've had my share. I've ate my fill. And even though I'm satisfied, I'm hungry still to see what's down another road beyond the hill. Do it all again. So here's to life and every joy it brings. Here's to life, to dreamers and their dreams. Funny how the time just flies. A warm hello can become a sad goodbye and leave you with the memories you memorized to keep your winters warm. But there's no yes and yesterday, and who knows what tomorrow brings or will take away. As long as I'm in the game, I want to play for laughs, for life, for love. So here's to life and every joy it brings. Here's to life, to dreamers and their dreams. May all your storms be weathered, and all that's good gets better. Here's to life. Here's to love. Here's to you. May all your storms be weathered, and all that's good that's good gets better. Here's to life. Here's to love. Here's to you. Here's to life. Here's to love. Here's to you.